Hey church fam, my name is Brittany Brooks and I'm so excited to be sharing a devotional with you today. My husband Matt and I oversee the youth and young adult ministries here at C3 Calgary West, and I just love you all. I can't wait to actually see you in person, but for now this will have to do. I wanted to start with something that God has been questioning and talking to me about a lot lately, and that is, where am I putting my faith? We're obviously in a very strange season where a lot of the norms and the things that we thought we knew are just not there anymore, and they've kind of been stripped away. And so though it's been about 7 weeks now since all of this began, there's still a lot of things that we just don't know. And there's so much information that's constantly changing, the guidelines are changing, and the experts don't seem to agree. And so what do we do when we're just not sure what to do? And when we don't have the answers, and even the experts aren't sure of the correct course? Well, God reminded me of a situation in my life that felt very similar to this, and I wanted to share that with you guys, that maybe it would help you. When I was pregnant with our son Jacob, that seemed very similar to this, a season of waiting, a season of a lot of unknowns, and really having to trust God through the whole process. I really do think that pregnancy and this are a lot similar, because I spent a lot of time on the couch sleeping and eating snacks, which I'm sure many of you are doing now as well. In both of those situations, there's just not much that we have control over. We can do our best to eat well and get rest, but it's mostly out of our hands. And so the similarities that I really see in these two are the unknowns and the waiting. And I really want to just take a moment to address that I know that we've just celebrated Mother's Day, and sometimes that's a very sensitive day for a lot of women for a lot of different reasons. So I just want to acknowledge that I see you and I love you, and I pray that you'll just stay with me in this for just a minute, and you'll just see how God is working through my life and how He's working through yours as well. So just over 2 years ago, Matt and I found out that we were pregnant, and we were very excited, and we went to the doctor for a confirmation. And to our surprise, the doctor said it wasn't positive. We had a couple positive tests at home, so we were very sure this was happening, and we were devastated when we heard the news. And on the way home, Matt actually suggested that we should buy some more tests, and I was pretty angry and I didn't want to, but he convinced me. And sure enough, when we got home, the test was positive. So we were very confused. One thing we had saying positive, and the doctor saying it wasn't positive. And God spoke something to me in that season. He said, Brittany, you're going to need to put your faith in me for this. Not in your doctor, not in this situation, but you're going to have to put your faith in me. I will bring this child into the world. And so we did have blood work done, and sure enough, we found out we were actually pregnant. But God was right. In the days and the weeks and the months ahead, I had to put my faith in Him, that He was forming this little life and that He would bring him into the world. And that God would carry us through the weeks between doctors and midwife appointments where we could hear the heartbeat and be sure that he was okay, and that He would see us through the rest of the pregnancy and into Jake's birth. And putting my faith in God didn't actually stop once Jake arrived. It meant I had to put my faith in Him even more to keep this little life alive on the outside. And it still is a moment by moment and a day by day decision. Where am I putting my faith? So please hear my heart that I'm not bashing doctors or nurses or saying anything negative about them. If you saw my husband's devotional last month, you know he was in the hospital, and I'm very, very thankful for the work that they do to care for the people that we love. What I am saying is just sometimes they get it wrong too. And we don't know everything. They don't know everything, none of us do. So when science says that there's no hope, when medicine says there's no hope, or they just don't have the answers, when we don't know what tomorrow will bring, or the months ahead, where do we go, and in who do we put our faith? So God gave me a verse at the beginning of this season, and I want to share it with you. Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. So I want to encourage you. If you've lost your job, the doctor hasn't given you a good report, you're going stir crazy in the isolation and the waiting, and you can't tell which news source to trust, and if you're still waiting for your baby, you're waiting for your miracle, put your faith in God. He sees more than we could ever see, and He is far more able than we will ever be. He is faithful now, and He will continue to be on the other side of this. He's the only one who doesn't change. And I think just like pregnancy, God is birthing something new in each of us in this season, and He will bring it about in His timing. So trust God to see you through, and when this is finally over and we can actually hug each other again, and I can't wait for that day, just be sure to put your faith in God then too, because He's got you. I love you guys. Have a great week.